Richard Sims,
Present.
Danny McGee, Kenneth Davenport, David Ikes, Pete Batar, Joanna Collette.
Okay, before we get into the regular, what's going on here, we had an executive session and we talked about a few things, and it has been brought to my attention that there's some of the members of this committee that do not like having that telephone stuck in their face. So if you wanna sit there and take the telephone, you have to stay in that chair. They don't want you up walking around when they're doing it.
Well, could you speak up so I can
I
hear?
will be more than glad to speak up. I have a loud voice, I can speak up. Also, if you have a question about one of the items that is on this agenda, is to be brought up after that item is talked about by the commissioners. And it will be answered at that time before we go on to anything else. And if it's not on the agenda, we're not gonna talk about it. That's what this meeting's for, is what's on the agenda. So, I hope I addressed that to you guys' satisfaction, Kenny? Pete? All right, so with that, let's go on to the minutes. We can't do the minutes.
I make a motion we take.
Wait a minute. We're not gonna answer any questions till we get to something.
I just want clarification on what you just got through saying about the rules of video and the meeting.
You can video it from right there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Now, is that part of your rules, or is that just something you saying, or?
That's part of what this group wants. It's not just me, it's what this group wants. I wasn't even here last
Well,
night.
they need to vote on it or put it in writing or
don't have to
something.
vote on it.
So you can just sit up here and just say anything.
That's our committee.
I
It's
don't think
our
so.
meeting.
I don't think that's how that works, but
Well,
we'll
that's
check
how
it out.
stupid and I am.
Well, then you got an attorney here. What do you have to say about that?
Well,
I can't stand up if I can't hear. I don't have the phone in nobody's face, but I can't stand up.
Mr. Sims is the president of the commission. He presides over the meeting. So he has the right to say, this is how I want the meeting conducted.
They don't have to write it in a
Well,
form, or
this commission does not have written procedural rules. So it's
No,
really up
by-
to the presiding officer.
so whatever he says.
So what he says about the conduct of the meeting is what really should be followed.
Well, I understand the conduct, but I'm not understanding the fact that I can't get out of this chair if I can't hear. I have not had the phone in anybody's face. I may have stood close so we could hear,
Well,
but if,
Rebecca, let me put it this way. If you wanna stand up right where you're at and hold that phone and look at it, that's fine. But I don't want you walking around this table. And it's not just me. There's 6 members on this committee. I wasn't even here when it was discussed. So I'm just telling you, this is what the committee wants and this is how it's going to be.
well, I understand that, but say if the committee, you're setting a precedent here. So what if they say, I don't want no women in here next
And what
month?
it's really for we the people. These people represent the people,
Move
correct?
on. We're moving on.
Well-
We're not gonna argue about the camera. It's not even part of my meeting. Okay?
Well, you just made it part when you told me not to get out of this chair.
I make a motion we abstain for
We can't do
table the
that.
minutes from April or March.
Okay, it's been made, seconded. Okay, we can't talk about them. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, let's go to the financials. Look at your financials, you don't vote on them. Anybody got any questions about the invoices?
Anything for you?
Is there anything, sorry, excuse me, I just didn't think, is there anything outstanding or anything that's unusual? that we missed?
Not that I can see. Motion we approve the invoices as submitted.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's good. Now we're going to business. Opening of bid proposals for 1415 Rabel Avenue. Mike?
Yes, sir, Mr. Sims. We had one bid And that was a bid from, McDonald's. And that, bid was for $140,000 for the purchase of the real estate at 1415 Rabel Avenue. And as a reminder, that is a little bit, about an acre and a half, and that is immediately north of the post office on Rabel Avenue. And in our bid packet, we specifically asked for a restaurant use with an experienced restaurant operator, someone with a kitchen on site would serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. McDonald's has responded. They want to proceed with an LOI, letter of intent, with $140,000 purchase price. That is the only bid received. This was advertised as required by law, so notices were placed in the Herald Bulletin about this. In my opinion, this is a great development, a great potential development, because this will spur other activity in the area. And I think it kind of creates, a little bit of momentum out there in that area. All right, so that is the one bid we've received. It's responsive to the substance of the advertisement that was published by the ARC, and it's up to the ARC to determine whether to accept a bid or reject a bid. And the law simply states that the ARC, in responding to this proposal, would has the ability to accept the highest and best bid. So if the ARC, if the commission is predisposed to accept this, then I think we want a motion, and then we'd have to negotiate a binding purchase agreement.
I would move that we accept the offer for 1415 Main Avenue.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Is there any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, hi, my name is Stacy. Considering like the west side has already been a food desert, I know there are plans for grocery stores and such. But other options, like, I'm not sure, this is all new to me, so I'm just asking. How long would another business or, would that offer be open for somebody else to bid, or does it close here tonight on
It
McDonald's?
closes tonight.
Okay.
And they
I
have,
just wanna see healthier options for the west
they
side.
have 90 days, to close on the property.
Okay.
And once if they don't close in 90 days, then we would open it back up.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Rebecca?
Is that a local franchise owner or the national?
It is, I think the National McDonald's Corporation is the bidder.
You think, or what does the paper say?
It is the National McDonald's Corporation. There is a realtor who's involved, and I believe he's Indianapolis based. But this is we are dealing with the national real estate manager for McDonald's. So to respond to your question, good question. It is the national. Now I think most McDonald's are corporate owned, I believe. So they don't franchise, I think, like some businesses.
Well, I know some people did used to own them,
Right.
Correct.
so they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, but this would be the national. Yeah, and I don't know if they, and I guess my understanding would be that this would be corporate owned, which may be good because then they can impose high standards. If they don't like maybe the manager and the way the manager's operating the restaurant, they'd have the right to replace that manager and install someone else to manage the restaurant. So I think this is actually a positive that we're dealing with a national corporation.
It seems like a positive because it's a corporation that has the finances, but not that it's the best thing for the west side right now. There's so many other options, I think, that McDonald's does not offer. And there are too too much information that's been brought out about McDonald's processed foods in general. Like, that's just me and a lot of other people, you know, everything. And then it's another cost that's added. So it's not
Well,
feasible.
what I would hope is as we move forward with this area out here, that by bringing McDonald's in, it might bring other, restaurants and stuff into, that area. I think that, the Needlers and the Ace Hardware is nothing but a plus. I live on the west side too, so it's nothing but a plus. And, I get tired of only going to Taco Bell and Wendy's, cause that's all it's over with.
I don't
My
eat
grandkid
them.
comes.
Yeah, I don't eat fast
Yeah,
food,
well,
so,
so
yeah.
that's what he wants, and so
Yeah.
that's what we do, but, I would like to see more, I'd like to see restaurants and all that come in, but it's just gonna take time, it's not gonna happen overnight, it ain't happened since I've been on this committee 9 years, and it's not gonna happen overnight, but this is, in my opinion, a start. It's bringing McDonald's in here, and if you remember, Stacy, years ago, I know Rebecca might remember it, but maybe some of them don't, but years ago, we had a Hardee's and a McDonald's on the
Yeah.
west side of town.
Yes,
Yeah.
we had
So
Ponderosa,
Kmart,
and
and
yeah,
Kmart,
we did,
we
we had
had
all
it
of
all.
that, we had that, and the economy left with Delco.
Yep,
Period.
I
And
work for
since
General
then,
Motors
I
too,
mean,
so
and
I know
it
what you're saying.
consistently, like the neighborhood, and nothing's the same anymore, so it's just to revitalize it. And McDonald's, okay, yes, I know like a lot of people, and it's a quick fix, but the family dynamics are changing a lot more, and people do want healthier lifestyles and healthier options.
But we did publish the ad. and
Understood.
it's
I
really
understand.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Looking at the rest of the, and I'm not gonna ask something about the future agenda here, but, it looks like there might be an overall plan or vision for that part of Nickel Avenue, Nickel Rabel corridor. So how does this fit into the visions or the plans that the city has for the rest of that area?
I really can't tell you, exactly what's gonna happen because we still have 2 or 3 buildings that we need to purchase. There has to be some infrastructure done there, a major infrastructure done in there before you can do any kind of a plan. The only reason that I think that this is a go is because it's on Rabel Avenue.
I understand you'd need that for a plan. I'm asking what the vision is.
I don't have a vision. I couldn't, my vision is not what everybody else's vision is. So it's not fair for me to tell you my vision. Now, if there's a vision from the city of Anderson in the future, we don't have it.
Well, if the city of Anderson is looking at purchasing the buildings, who would know what the vision is or the plans?
Well, let me address that.
Go ahead.
I'll jump in here from an economic development standpoint. We've been pushing this rock up the hill for 20 years. And so the plan at this point is resurrection. It's bringing this part of the community back from the dead, period. We've been able to get a start with that by acquiring the properties. We have a new grocery store that's coming in, we have a new hardware store that's coming in, and now, if we can strike this deal with McDonald's, a new McDonald's. The reason that's a good start, and will enable us to put a quality plan together for the overall area, is because every time we've talked with people about locating their businesses, retail or otherwise, in this part of the community, we have heard from them over and over and over. When you get a grocery store, when you get a McDonald's, call us. Because businesses follow those 2 things. And it looks like, we're gonna have both before this year's out. That will enable us to finally stand up a more formal plan, present it to the community, secure that feedback, work through the process. But at this point, it has quite literally been triage, trying to bring this part of the community back from the dead. This is the first sign of life in these 3 new establishments that we have coming that I've seen in 20 years.
I love the question myself.
That's
I
a great-
love the
that's a
idea
great
of vision. I live on vision. You can't do,
One more question, Rebecca, then we're gonna move on.
you can't do future casting without a vision.
Correct.
So,
It's a good question.
I completely agree with the question. I think that, some of this is looking at what was already there, figuring out infrastructure, figuring out what the zoning is for what can even go in there. I could have a vision for a Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and, a Baja Fresh and all these other things, but if we don't get the bids, if we don't get people coming in, we can't just, as a city, make that happen. You have to work with existing industry, you have to work with entrepreneurs, you have to work with the people that actually will make the investment in a place. So why would anyone want to make an investment in a place? Well, to Greg's point, you start building critical mass by building smaller building blocks, like a grocery store, like a hardware store, like a McDonald's. And you've already got a Taco Bell and a Wendy's and a Pizza King there. So having a McDonald's on sort of that opposite corner kind of makes that corner what people would look for in a sort of developing community. The point is that we want to open up our options. And then we can form, I think, a more specific vision. Does that make sense?
It does, and don't misunderstand, I'm not opposed to McDonald's. I'm just asking, are we thinking ahead what the vision is so that they.
And I think McDonald's looks at that place too and says, okay, what's the demographic there? Are there people there that are gonna frequent this restaurant and use it? And the answer to that is yes, otherwise they wouldn't.
They wouldn't bring it.
So not everybody's gonna, people that are more health conscious, there's not as many options there yet. But that will follow the bulk of where, you've got a lower cost food alternative for people to go to, other than just Taco Bell and Wendy's. Now you've got a third option. Now there might be more traffic that comes in there to justify a fourth and fifth and sixth option down the road. Does that make sense?
So for my clarification, 1415, is that where the doctor's office used to be?
Yep. Yeah, a long time
So
ago.
it's just right there, right by the post office.
Just north of
Comprehensive used to be.
It's also property that had some environmental impact too,
Okay.
because of the gas station.
But does it go all the way to the corner, or does it just, it gets short of the corner, right?
It's short, yes.
Yeah, cause it's Speedway
Just,
gas.
so the Speedway gas station is still there, but, okay. Okay.
Rebecca, you still got your question?
Yes, I do.
This is the last one.
Okay.
Go ahead.
To answer this young lady's question over here about the vision, isn't this body required to have a comprehensive plan and vision for redevelopment commission in your manual that I read? Might be. Greg,
We have a list of projects, Rebecca.
I know
we're
what
not-
you-
We're not required to have a comprehensive plan is a specific animal. That's mandated by state statute, and it's the responsibility of the city, to have a comprehensive plan. We have a comprehensive plan. This body is not required to have a comprehensive plan. This body is required to have a redevelopment plan, which we do have. It's a list of projects, that's about 5 pages long.
so you have a
We
redevelopment
have a
plan.
we do have a redevelopment.
So that would be kind of like a vision, would you say?
It is to some degree. I think what this young lady is suggesting is that we need a more formal site plan that illustrates how those properties, not only this property, but the other properties in close proximity will all work together. Until we had this opportunity where we've got some sense of life being breathed back into this part of the community, we have lots of pretty drawings, but every time we talk to people, it's like, show us that there's life here.
Well,
We finally got life, so now we come to the opportunity to say, okay, how will these properties all work together, and what infrastructure do we need to support that? And again, the market's gonna tell us what's viable and what isn't. And Chris's is a great steakhouse, but, that's never gonna happen. There's lots of things that we'd like to see. Different members of the community will have different suggestions, but we've also gotta listen to the marketplace, and the marketplace is gonna tell us what will work and what won't.
I don't have another question, but I do have another statement to make. I did turn in the mattress that's been laying out in the 2 lots down from this investment for several months, and as of this morning, it was still there. Right behind the rent-to-own place. The reason I keep bringing up these points, I know everybody say they live on that side of town. Even Greg said he passed my house every day, so he has to see the same thing I see. Right on the corner where you say that gasoline station, somebody owns that, that grass is 2 feet tall. These businesses, no matter how pretty we paint that picture, if we don't enforce codes around there,
We're not the code.
I know, but you got
I will talk-
influence.
I will talk tomorrow to Todd Fisher, and I will look.
I turned it in to
I will
Micah.
I will take this to Todd Fisher tomorrow. I will take him in my truck, and I'll go out there and look at that. Okay?
Okay.
I just one question. Just one, very quick one. How quickly do you think the McDonald's will actually open?
I
Will it be
think
this
it'll be
year?
90 days to close. That you can't.
90 days to close. Do you think it could open this year or early next
I
year?
don't know, Ken.
I don't know how long it takes to build one.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think it's a fair, I don't know.
It's a good question, I just don't know.
But it's a significant investment,
Yeah.
and so I doubt if it's gonna be open this year.
Okay.
That we will not have
I
that
hope.
information. We may know that, we may know more at the next
If
meeting.
they close in 90 days, that puts us in
Yeah.
August, so you're not gonna finish building before.
So
Okay.
if there are issues with the groundwater because of the gas station being there, who's responsible for mitigating that?
There's no further action attached to that side by
Thank you.
IDM, and we're gonna address that in the next opportunity here in a few minutes.
Thank you.
If the motion's been made and seconded, we've answered the questions. All in favor say aye. Aye. On the McDonald's. So we are now ready for ARC 04-25, resolution allocating funds for purchase of 2800 and 2647 and 2827 Nickel Avenue. And I think we have still not got the inspection, right?
Yeah.
So tonight we need to make a motion to get the inspection.
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion to table ARC 0425 and to approve inspection from KRM is estimated at $3,500 to inspect the property.
Motion's been made and seconded.
I have a question.
Yes, Kelly?
Thank you. So at the last meeting, I just want clarification on the actual properties that are potentially being purchased. Is there 3 properties or is there 1 property and a range of properties?
I believe it's 2 parcels, Ms. Kelly, two separate parcels. The way it currently sets in the plan commission, it falls under 3 addresses. I believe that we are.
So, I have a map. The bulk of it is owned by Conrad Investments LLC, and I think at the last meeting, Attorney Austin said it was owned by Edgewood One LLC, and I didn't find any property owners with that name. So, just curious if that got clarified and who you're buying it from.
My understanding is it is owned by Conrad Investments.
Okay.
I don't know what side.
I think they may have a different name and an LLC name, that's at Anderson.
No, I mean, not on the Madison County Beacon site. There's
On the
actually,
Beacon side, is that what you said?
yeah.
Yeah, so
Beacon.
here is the name, the current owner, Kelly, is, Edgewood One LLC.
So they rolled it into a small LLC.
And they own both the former
It's not
Kmart
listed,
property.
so I don't know if you know, last time you didn't put a proposal in or you talked about it because you were still trying to clarify who
I
that,
wasn't here, so I couldn't.
yeah. I'm looking at you because you're presiding the meeting.
Okay.
Now, that is the owner. I don't know if the Beacon records are up to date.
And that could very well
That's the
be.
owner of record is Edgewood One LLC.
Okay. I would think that you'd want to make sure that that was clear before
But we will.
purchase
But
agreement.
here's the thing, what we're looking at right now, is we're looking for an inspection on a structure.
Commercial.
A commercial inspection on the structure, not just a commercial appraisal, but we want a commercial structural appraisal that makes sure that that building is, maybe it needs to be tore down.
Yeah. Hair Plus, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
And the other side of that is empty.
yes.
So, you know, I don't know, exactly what, but we just now found an appraiser that would do it. I have appraisers for commercial buildings, but I don't have any for structural, that's what you're talking.
So this will
Yeah,
be,
so this is a pretty large section. It's not just what you're talking about for Hair Plus. You talk about 2647 That's up by the old, what was that, Arab or whatever the pest place was. And then, we were also talking about a little track next to Family Dollar. So altogether, do you know how much acreage that is? Does it go all the way back to like past 16th Street? That's a pretty deep property.
The former Kmart property is 11.075 acres. Kelly, the Hair Plus property is 4.295 acres. The buildings only on the Hair Plus, that one property, obviously, and that's 21,809 square feet is the building, of which about 3,000 is rented.
I thought didn't we just buy that property off his campus? We didn't buy it.
We're waiting to complete a survey. We got a deal, we did for that.
Okay, so, so now, I don't know how many of you have grown up on the west side or have ties to the west side, you do, of course. Brentwood area, that's full of people that live there, the families that live there. All the areas around there, I know families that have been there. How will this affect them? Like, I have not heard any conversation about the people being invited to speak on what is here to support them, you say? Or is it like, I just keep hearing numbers? I hear nothing of the people that live in these communities.
Well,
Do they get an opportunity to speak?
If we decide to build something, right now we're just trying to purchase what's there. There's still 2 vacant houses across from Bingham that I would like to see us buy also. I'd also like to see us buy Easy Pond. I'd like to get all that bought.
So the city will own all the land.
We want to own all the land so we can do a project.
But the land is for the people. The land is here for the people. Yes, I know you don't want to hear it. I know it, but this is a part of it though. I'm sorry, hear me out. This is the second meeting that I've ever been to. And I've watched it afar, but nobody speaks on what the people want. You're taxing, you're fining, you're doing everything. Everything is increasing for the people. Now y'all want to bring in restaurants. Not even, I don't hear you talking about how it's going to affect those neighborhoods, how it's going to affect the livelihoods of people. What's next? Edgewood and Brentwood merge? You wipe out Brentwood? I mean, there's a lot. The vision, we don't know the vision. Nobody else here seems to know it, but this story has been ongoing for a long time. It's not just something new.
I don't guess I can give you the answer you're looking for until we get everything bought. You can't go in there and do anything until you own it.
Well, so you're owning the city to create money, but what about the people that live in those areas now? Like you say, the West Side didn't bring the West Side down all by itself. I'm sorry.
I never said it did.
No, I know you didn't. I'm just saying we have to be realistic about it though. But for the longest time, those people, there's no grocery stores over there. They travel. But guess where most of, like we can say, the issues as far as police presence in those areas, the tickets, the amount of tickets that go out, everything. The fines are coming from the West Side. They're already getting hit. We have the water crisis going on. There is so much going on. And I'm sorry that y'all don't seem to really be affected by it. But I have family still that's been affected by everything.
But what does that have to do with the redevelopment commission?
The
police calls and the water crisis.
You're coming up with all of this money, but who's gonna? I mean, yeah, you want to buy all the land. You want the city of Anderson to buy the land?
Sure, I want the city of Anderson.
So what if
the redevelopment commission to buy the land? We have money to buy the land.
So if the people want to buy the land,
we can't make it better for the West Side if we don't buy the land and put something on it. I mean, you talk about what's good for the people.
That's right. I mean, and we want it to be good. And I understand you building it up with the business.
If you don't build it up for the people, then that's going to be good for the people. You can't leave it like it is and tell me that's good for the people.
Well, it's been that way for how long you say? 22 years. It didn't bother anybody. Yeah, you're
Well,
right.
it's been bothering me a really long time.
Yeah, yes, and it's,
I've been living in Edgewood since 1984. I own 2 houses on Nickel Avenue. I would really like to see that area going back to the way it used to be when I was a kid, right? I mean, I've lived in Anderson all my life. And that used to be one of the nicest parts of town. It's not anymore. I'd like to see it get back.
and it's,
And it's gonna be
That's
one
what we're
step
trying
at
to
a
do.
time.
That's what we're trying to
That's
do.
what we're trying to do.
And I absolutely agree with what you're trying to
If
do.
we don't buy the property, the person that owns it now can sell it to whoever they want.
Well,
So we cannot control the development until we own the
understood.
property.
I'm saying that there, I'm not trying to make you upset. What I'm trying to get you to understand is that you say you have some compassion for the people, though. It's all about the city this, the city that, and
No.
we have to have the insurance.
Once
We
we
have
own
to
it,
have.
we will ask the people their input. It
But
does
what do
no
you
good to
get
tell
back?
me what you
But
want,
but what do
I
you
don't
get
know.
back to the people? What do the people get out of it?
A better
Get a
community.
redeveloped.
A better life.
You say?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we get a better life.
We absolutely
Okay,
do.
as long as we say that, but I can just about guarantee you, this is like once it starts, and it's been that way with every project, me leaving Anderson and coming back to Anderson. We say it's for the economy and we're gonna build up this, and it ends up being a nightmare most often for some, in one way or another. But you guys are gonna do it different, and I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna watch, and I'm
There
gonna
you go.
watch
You
you
watch
every
us.
step of the way.
That's good. That's good. I want you to come. Okay, so we need to we made the motion and we've seconded the motion on getting a inspector, architectural engineering inspection on that property before we make the offer of purchase.
Yeah, and I think the motion was for local architectural firm KRM.
That's right, it was.
Through their principal.
You
Mike,
seconded
got
it,
right
right,
through
Pete?
this. Yeah.
So the motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Can I ask
That's
one,
done.
can I ask a quick question? Just
Yeah.
catching up. The money for the purchase of this, is that coming from TIF or what is that?
Comes
Yes,
from
ma'am.
TIF.
TIF, thank you.
And may I just add, I have the wrong addresses on the agenda.
Well, let's shoot you.
That's
If you
why,
get the wrong
I
address,
know,
it's our fault.
that's why there's some confusion about, it's only the 2 parcels, the Kmart and the Hair Plus parcel. I think that's supposed to read 2847 to 2827, not 26, cause that goes way down the street.
Well, let me ask
And I
you,
apologize.
let me ask a question.
Yeah.
Was the Payless next to the Kmart?
Yes,
Right there at the same
in the
place?
same building.
So that's not only, well, I mean, it's Payless parking lot and the Kmart parking lot.
Yes.
And the McDonald's was essentially across the street.
Oh, I know where McDonald's was, this whole Hardee's was right next to it. I like Hardee's.
Dollar, burger chef, but, it was all over there.
Okay, we're on to ARCO 5-25. Determining need to capture incremental assessed value.
Mike, you wanna explain that? I mean, it's something we do every year.
Yeah, this is an annual resolution.
Mhm.
Just, and we passed a similar resolution last year. So this is required by the State Board of Accounts, just, we basically saying we're gonna control these funds. So we're required to pass a resolution and then notify the city council, of the adoption of that resolution.
Okay.
So this is similar to what we've done since I've been the attorney for the OCA over the last 4 or 5 years.
Okay. So do we need a motion on this, or?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we need to have a motion to approve the resolution.
I would make a motion that we approve the resolution determining the capture of excess valuation.
ARC 525.
Yeah.
Second. Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passed. All right, let's go to the next one. Action on purchase of 2501 Nickel Avenue, the former Speedway gas station, where you're talking about the grass is so tall, we have a chance to buy it.
Finally.
Yeah, fine.
And this has been 20 years in coming.
Greg, you wanna go ahead?
So, this particular property is now owned by 7-Eleven, and that's been part of the challenge. At one point it was Marathon became Speedway is now owned by 7-Eleven. During the last 20 years, IDEM has managed to finally reach the point where there's no further action, their findings, attached to the property. Which means there's no other additional environmental cleanup that's required. And there are covenants with the surrounding properties as far as what can be built, how it can be built, etc., including the parcel that we're talking with McDonald's about. They'll need to do a vapor mitigation system for that facility. This particular site is very small. It has very limited egress because of its close proximity to the actual intersection. And my recommendation would be that we do purchase this property from 7-Eleven, that we demolish the building, that we green the site. It's not appropriate to build something there because there simply isn't enough room. Get the site green, get it appropriately lit so that it's attractive, and hopefully it will enable the new McDonald's and new future development to take place to the south and to the west. That's my recommendation. The 7-Eleven Corporation currently has it on their books for $110,000. We have appraisals at $90,000 and $100,000, and I'll let the attorney address the fact that the price that is being requested is a little higher than what it's currently appraised at. And Mike, if you want to address the latitude that we have as far as the redevelopment commission in this kind of a situation and purchase.
Yeah, we do have a latitude, to make an offer in excess of the average of the two appraisals, because this is redevelopment. So we have latitude that the city of Anderson itself as a purchasing entity would not have. So if we think it's appropriate in order to obtain title to this property, and I think from what I gather, it's a key part of the redevelopment of this area, is finally getting control over this. It's been a problem for years and years and years, going back a couple decades. So if we can get that for the $110,000 price, that to me is, we're authorized to do that under the statute. And again, it's only slightly above the average of the two appraisals. So we have the latitude to do that, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President.
Commissioners? You got anything you wanna say before we make motions?
No, we need that corner for sure. That is obviously, like Mike said, that's all at that corner and moves on, so.
It's a strategic corner, and I think just given the fact that we made a resolution from earlier about the restaurant that's moving in there, I think it's pretty forward right now.
Okay, you wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we purchase property 2501 Nickel Avenue for $110,000.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Go, Kenny. I'm sorry, I should have said.
Do you kind of see that property as a gateway area more than another building being there?
Absolutely.
It's almost too small.
Except that the whole taxes go way up too.
I don't know about the taxes going up.
No, ma'am.
I don't think the taxes will go up. You wanna argue with somebody about your taxes, go talk to that assessor, he just raised mine 10%.
I figured, because from what I'm hearing, every time they do upgrades, the taxes go up too, so.
That's not really true, I don't know who told you that, but that's not really true.
It's what I've seen happen.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 9, action on reimbursement for lease of 29th and Madison. Somebody talk to me about the Orloffs.
That's gonna be Miss Karen talking to you.
You want me to say?
I do.
Okay. The Orlov's leased, had a contract with us to lease the space at 29th and Madison. The ground, not the space, but the ground, that's just, it's
Across the
near the
street from the-
UAW
Okay.
building
Yep.
and, Plant 9,
Plant 9.
old Plant 9.
So it's on the
There's a
southeast
small acreage there at the corner that we owned, so they leased that space to farm. They wrote us a check last April for that, it's $67.38. And we received that in, but we, had actually okayed, the Central Indiana and Western Railroad Company to take lease of that space for the company that was coming into the old plant, former Plant 9 Diversified, Ingredients Company. So they had asked to lease that, so we, in essence, broke our lease with Mr. Orbaugh. We had a discussion with him, but we never got him reimbursed. He had paid us in April for the 24 farming season. So we're asking you just to okay the reimbursement of that $567.38.
Just to confirm you didn't farm it.
He did not farm it.
No, he'd been planting alfalfa there and baling the hay, but he wasn't able to do it after the.
Yeah, and now this land, being leased to the railroad, the Central Indiana and Western Railroad Company, allows them to provide service to the new company that's
So
located.
do we need a motion for this too?
Yes.
Yes.
I make a motion, we, reimburse the Orbos $567.38 for the property at 29 Mass.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded.
$1.
And the reason we're doing that is they are in the process of rebuilding that rail spur. So that we can be productive. It needed some work and rail maintenance is very, very expensive because they're able to utilize it and servicing this new company. They were willing to come in and refurbish the spur for us.
So it's a good win-win.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hey, man.
Okay, this meeting is over. I'm going over to the county. The county council starts at 6 o'clock. So I'll see you in a few minutes.